on the same topic we were talking about kids, and when they get older, they get a little bit stronger. I can think back to a time where I was watching my little cousin. It was my cousin's daughter, so
Mm-hmm.
she's no older than I want to say 4 or 5 years old, and I think I was around 15 or something like that. Because she's 18 right now. She has a kid. She's a whole adult now. So it's kind of crazy looking back at it. But uh, the reason I thought about this moment is because I was sitting across from her at Olive Garden this weekend. We're celebrating my aunt's birthday. And she has her kid. And she's just trying to teach the kid not to do bad things. Like, hey, settle down. I mean, he's only 6 months old. But she's just like, hey, be good, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I remember when you were a kid, you were crazy. She's like, what do you mean? And I didn't want to talk about the story because her dad didn't know he was there. So what happened was I was watching her. He went I think he went clubbing or a party or something. I don't know what it was. And I was just like, oh, don't worry, I can watch her. She's fine. We're just going to do chicken noodle soup and dance and watch TV and stuff like that. No big
Noodle
deal.
soup.
Remember that dance, the chicken noodle
I
soup?
remember that dance.
So as I'm watching her, she's like, I want to play fight, and I was like, all right, let's play fight. So I'm just she's trying to jump on me, and I'm just throwing her on the other bed, trying to jump on me. I throw her on the other bed, and then one time she just jumps over to me. I was like, all right, no. She jumps over to me. I'm like, hey, we're done. She's like, no, I'm not done. And she cocks back, swings, hits me, busts my nose,
Get out.
nose bleeding. When I tell you, I pushed this kid off the bed, yeeted this little kid after this happened. I was just because in my head, at 15 years old, I'm the adult. So I was you get hit, you learn lessons. This is a punishment. I want to say, not even 10 minutes later, her dad come in the room, see her crying. What happened? I was like, oh, she was being bad, so I put her in timeout. No, he hit me. I was like, gotta go. Welcome to the Unsolicited Counseling Podcast. We're your host. I'm Martin.
I'm your boy Jermaine.
And bro, what a way to start the episode, because I'm about to be a parent, and I gotta learn that you can't be hitting these kids. So you can't hit back. CPS could have been called or something. Somebody could have done something to me at that point.
Look, I feel like it's just a whole gentle parenting thing. Back in the day, bro, it was if you didn't have a belt in your purse, what type of mom are you? You're a bad mom. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to look. My mom, she's still on deck. She don't even gotta have to have pants, bro. She got sweatpants. I mean, a jeans or whatever. She has sweatpants or a skirt, whatever, shorts, basketball shorts, whatever. Belt always strapped. Always strapped, bro. Just when someone pop off, you gotta know. Look, man, it is what it is. This gentle parenting thing, bro. It's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just afraid. That's my brain can't. I was like, yo, the dark on my ass was because that's a badge of honor. That means it could have been blacker.
Hot take. Since the rise of gentle parenting, school shootings have gone up. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a direct correlation, but I don't think that a lot of people fear. They don't have any fear. They don't have any consequences. They're like, you know what? What's going to happen is going to happen regardless. I'm going to shoot them up. If I get got, it is what it is. It was a noble cause, just like the shooter for Trump. He's like, yo,
Yep.
I got bullied in school. I didn't know how to handle it, so I figured I'd take somebody's life. I just feel and I'm pretty sure he was a gentle parent. They talked to his parents. I don't know where he got this AR-15 from. What the heck is this about? Come on, man. You know what happened. He came home one day saying you got bullied, and you told him to stop being a little bitch, and you were laughing. You were joking. You're a millennial parent. You're just this is fucking funny. He'll get over it. He did not get over it. He was just I'm taking democracy into my own hands. Call back to what you said before recording. He was like, listen, I can't be a fuck up if I become a hero.
I mean, look, man, sometimes bullying, it works. Sometimes bullying breaks. Everyone's like, oh, stop the bullying. Look, I got bullied. And guess what? I'm a success because the bullies, granted, the bullies are working out of World Farms right now or
Mm.
Walmart. So technically, I'm winning. The world looked out. They did their job to beat me up to where it's a success. They beat me up. They didn't beat me down. They beat me up. Jesus, he know my heart.
Jesus.
If he didn't get beat up, he got beat down by gentle parenting, the millennials. And he said, democracy, I'm your bald eagle. So today, what we're gonna talk about is we're gonna do a little recap because we've been a little out, you know what I'm saying? Like I went traveling with a couple of people, a couple of our friends and stuff to Shenandoah. Great time. We had some friends that are parents that needed to unwind. So, probably in the next year, y'all probably need to unwind. So go back to the mountains or to a beach or something like that. So that's what I did this weekend. On top of the fact, COVID is back too. So we're
Yes.
gonna be talking about all the crazy shit that's been happening this past week. So this is gonna be a very interesting episode. This is the up to date episode for y'all.
Yeah, and even to let you guys know, like, this is the first time in a while that we're actually posting an episode the very next day. We're trying to stay more relevant. We're trying to stay current for you guys. And this is something that's currently happening around the world right now. COVID cases are spiking up everywhere. Like,
Crazy.
it's insane. I was on a call for work today, and I was like, oh, where's so-and-so? Oh, she has COVID. And I laughed. Not because I don't understand the seriousness of COVID, but I just didn't know COVID was a thing anymore. Like, I thought COVID died in 2020, and here we are in 2024, and cases are back up. Are people still being hospitalized, or they just don't care about it anymore because there's an election going on?
Look, man, they ain't gonna put the counter up no more because they was like, I mean, listen, I don't know, I don't think the hospitalization. I think they are getting hospitalized. I haven't looked into the news because they kind of was like, yeah, another COVID case, also shark attack. So it's like everyone just getting got, people getting caught up in the Bahamas and stuff. So, but definitely the election year is the one that's um
Saying
the
the most
big
of the
news.
Yeah, everyone's wrapped up in all the craziness going on. We just referred to, the assassination attempt on DJ Trump. I never called him that before, but that was really cool. We
Dropping the
also
ones
heard
and
about,
twos.
yeah, and then you have Joe dropping out of the election, and now the incumbent is now Kamala Harris. She is the nominee for the Democratic Party. How do we feel about that? I know it's
Talk
not a
about
political podcast, but how do we feel about that?
how do we feel about it? I can say how I feel about it, but what I really want to talk about before I go on mine is how we as like how people are like, oh, black people, they like the same shit,
Mm-hmm.
black people going off right now on Kamala on a
Are
good
they?
way, bro. They're like, bro, there was so many donations from like black women and even black men, bro. Like it's actually wild. They said on NPR. Shout out to NPR. Give me a job. They said on it that it was the most turnout donor wise from black people in America since Obama's first term, bro.
I believe it.
Nuts. Absolutely insane. Meanwhile, my mom's like, oh, we in trouble. We in trouble. What she gonna do? They ain't gonna put no woman in the office, Michael, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, look, man, if she's doing all this stuff, I guess it really depends on what's gonna happen. How I feel, one, I was shocked. I didn't think old Joe, was gonna give away the torch at all. Pun intended, because the Olympics is tomorrow. I didn't think he was gonna do it at all, bro. But I think the COVID thing happening and our brother Barack came over before. I mean, maybe he need to get tested, but he came over before he got COVID. He was like, "Let me tell you." I think that might have, and then seeing the poll numbers drop. But how I feel, look, man. At this point, I'm just like, I haven't seen. It's cool because we don't got the crypt keeper, one of the crypt keepers in the race anymore. You know what I'm saying? We got someone young, and it's crazy. People are hyped because when they look at the screen, it's not grandpa on the screen. So
Mhm.
that's the thing I got hyped about. Because I was like, oh, it's someone that can talk full sentences and not stumble over words and call someone a black woman.
Yeah, no, I get that entirely. I mean, that's the one. I'm not gonna say the one benefit. There's many benefits to this, but one of the benefits that I can call out that I think makes a huge difference is the fact that the likelihood, if elected, her making it through her first term alive is a lot higher and more likely than Trump making it through. I mean, we're talking people who are older and no longer serve our values as millennials. Not even just like a people, like black people, culturally, whatever. It's more generationally.
Oh
Like, no
yeah.
one is looking to help out our generation more than someone who is relatively close. I don't know how old Kamala is. I'm gonna guess she looks like she's in her mid 40s, maybe.
I'm gonna say
But we got the
I'm gonna
technology.
look, I'm gonna look it up, but I would probably say like 50s.
Oh, all right. So black don't crack. So she 59.
Ah,
I don't think she serves our values either. What we really need to do is to get Mr. Beast to
chill
run for
out.
president. And I think that he could save the world from war. I feel like he would just give everybody a stimulus check of $1 million in a game show. And I just think that if she needs to pick a VP, you got to pick someone younger. You got to pick someone who speaks our generation and get us excited to vote. Because I'm not excited to vote still. Like, this is a step in the right direction, having
Mm.
someone younger. But it has to be somebody in your running mate that's going to be like, all right, I speak for millennials. Because JD Vance, he's a millennial.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's like 38.
He sure is. Yeah, you're right. No,
Mm-hmm.
that now that you mentioned, that's actually a good move because with it has to be a millennial that look old. That's a man. I ain't gonna say because my moms and dads be like, oh, they don't got no experience. What they gonna do? Because everyone hung up on experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because even like let's say AOC, right? She been in Congress probably as long as we've been out of college, like
It's been a
damn
while.
near, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's been there for a brick, but people still look at her because she look young. They're like, oh, and a woman. Oh, she ain't got no experience, blah blah blah. I don't know what other dude out there, Larry Hogan.
Listen, Larry Hogan's never going to be on a Democratic card, but I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it. He would get my vote. I think the whole state of Maryland would vote for Hogan, but he's running for Senate, so
Mm,
he's kind of preoccupied at the moment.
right,
That being said, it feels like we're back in 2020 again with the COVID cases rising during another election year. Like, why does it always happen when there's an election? We have a spike in cases.
man, I don't know, man. I feel like it's just it could be anything. You can put your conspiracy hat on and be like, "Hey, y'all, they re-engineered the what? We gonna get flagged on Spotify." They're like, just like it happened with.
I come with props today. This is my conspiracy theory hat,
All right,
and
go ahead. Speak your
what
truth.
it
What's the
really
conspiracy?
is, what it really is the liberal agenda. I can't do it. No, but I think one, it's clearly a coincidence that this is happening. I mean, I don't think that. Well, our co-host Catherine, she's feeling it really bad right now. Like,
Yeah,
but I was gonna say that the cases aren't as severe as when they first came about. I think part of that was like stress because a lot of people were like, "Oh, if I get it, this is the end of my life." And
yeah.
now we're finding out that that's not necessarily the case. Like, you're gonna be okay if you're healthy. Hold up.
Uh oh.
Ooh, we'll get that in post. Oh, we'll get that in post. This hat is too dusty.
That's it. That's the one.
But yeah, I think that we're realizing now that COVID's not as bad as it used to be, and there is a life after COVID, which makes me wonder why are we still making this a big event? Like
Like
COVID,
COVID or
like COVID. Like, I
elections.
feel like at this point it's kind of similar to a cold.
Oh
For
yeah.
some people. For some people. I guess that's where you got to kind of think about the risk of other people. I don't know. But in general, shouldn't you do the same thing with a cold? Like I have a cold, I should quarantine myself so I don't get everybody else a cold. Because my cold might affect someone else differently. So why are we treating COVID like different? Like, oh no, this will actually kill somebody when every other virus or sickness could do something similar.
I mean, the flu can do it. The flu can do it. Uh, Emphysema, that's flu. That's for flu.
Influenza.
Like yeah, the flu can do it. Like even sometimes colds they can produce pneumonia. Like I'm not a doctor, but I think it's just the label, right? Like COVID is this thing. Like oh, I if I get it, like it's basically like a label, like a scarlet letter, like we had back in the day. Granted, I ain't saying go out and start like going in people's faces, even though you got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it should be because I think it should be all at the same thing. Like if you got the flu, don't come around people. But it's a different level when someone has the flu versus COVID. Like, don't you think like when people have COVID, it's like this whole like big thing. Like, oh, okay, I guess the body aches. I think that's the body aches when people like they
Like the
they
body
can't
aches and
move.
chills that you got with COVID. The chills for me was the part that sucked because didn't matter how many blankets I had on, how many like hoodies, sweaters, like I was still
Ooh,
cold. And I remember when I first had the chills, I was like, "Yo, what's the AC set on?" Well, it was like, "It's not on. It says 80 degrees in this place. It's hot." I was just like, "Nah, your body temperature off. Like it can't
something
be
wrong.
me.
Something going on.
Nothing wrong with you. It can't be me. Like I'm perfect in every way." Next day, sore throat. God damn it. Here
Yep.
it comes. So yeah, no, COVID. It's still rampant. It's still a problem. It's still something that we need to be cognizant of. I just don't know. People are still like going to work like, "Hey, I have COVID," and they're like, "Oh, take your time off." Like, I don't think that's where the world works anymore.
Let me tell you, bro.
Uh oh.
When I thought, because at the event I was at, with all my friends and stuff like that, I had a great time partying, drinking, and stuff like that. School, the kids are gone, parents are out to play, right? After I found out about the COVID, like one of our friends had COVID, that was there. I went to was going to get a test at CVS, like the actual like antigen test because that's supposed to be better than the stay at home test. Bro, one, they charge now. That's number one. So you have to pay for it.
Mm.
Because your insurance no longer covers it. Two, want to guess how much it costs?
$20
Higher.
higher. Listen, and they told me it costs more. All right, go ahead. How much was it? I don't even know.
70.
Listen, I'm taking the at-home test. It's just as effective. It's just as effective. Yeah, you might have to pay for it, but it's going to be what, $10 instead of $70.
Yeah,
Because we
bro.
got some
Like,
take-home tests like by checkout down at Safeway, and anytime like I feel anything, I'm like, let me just grab one of these real quick, just in case.
right. Yeah, and that's what we ended up doing because guess what? The fucking machine was broken. I paid $70, and they were like, Mr. Harris, we can't process your COVID test because our machine broke. And I said this, am I getting my money back? And they were like, oh, let me check.
Let
Yeah,
me
we didn't
check.
charge you. You're good to go. And I was like, all right, cool. Went to get a COVID test and at home COVID test and took it. And I was like, you know what? F CVS with this rapid COVID test shit, bro. But that's to say, like you said, it's like you're not gonna get that grace with COVID anymore. It's just like, oh, you got a flu. Oh, take your time, blah blah blah. Now it's like, all right, so you got a week, and I expect you to be working while you got COVID.
Yeah, it's like companies don't care anymore. So it's like, if companies don't care, should we as a society be better than our companies, or should we just be like, you know what? If my job says I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm going to that movie theater. I'm not missing the new Deadpool movie. Like, I
Look, that
already
comes
bought
out
my
this week.
tickets. I can't just miss it. Like, Are we wrong for doing that now, or do you think that the onus is? Oh, I don't know. I guess the onus would be on us regardless. Like, do you think that that's just an everybody else problem, or do you think it's something that we each need to individually be like, hey, let me not be an asshole about this. Let me take care of myself.
I mean, it
Because
was
life still
something.
goes on.
Life does still go on, and it was something I did. I think I was sick, something, and I was like, you know what? If I don't cough, it ain't spreading. You're spreading in front of your face from breathing. No, if I breathe, it's going down. Like I ain't be like
Are you
breathing
a
in
mouth
big bags.
breather or a
Like
nose breather?
nose breather.
Okay, that is the right answer. I kind of find out that like people make this decision when they're kids and they just are stuck one way. Like
Mm-mm.
if you learn how to mouth breathe and that's all you do, it's hard for you to switch to like being a nose breather. Like try to be a mouth breather and just like try to continue doing that. Like it's something you have to actually think about.
That's horrible.
Yeah,
Cause you can't even talk.
yeah.
Now I'm like
Not without
breathy.
practice. Not without practice.
Nah, bro, that's dead. I mean, speaking of mouth breathers, Let's talk about before because I want to talk about the election because that's another level because we're saying 2021, right? I feel like with this election cycle, at first it caused a lot of people stress. I don't know. I think it's still like a stressful time, but I feel like it's a less than until as of now because of the whole introduction of Kamala coming in. I think I don't know, man, because I was talking to my brother. Because y'all know in the private world that your boy is now like starting to go out and date and stuff. My brother was like, when Joe after the debate with Joe and everybody losing their mind, you know what I mean? Like Instagram things I saw like from Washington Prides and stuff. It was like, hey yo, online dating gonna be reckless now. It was rough for a little bit,
Was
bro.
it?
Yeah,
Like
because
what did
like
Biden have to do with that?
it was just like political leanings. People like changed their a lot of people changed their political stuff on there, either like liberal, like it's making sides, right? It was wild, bro, and like changing their filters based on the side, like on the
Whew.
their sides and stuff. It was crazy. I think the climate has calmed down a little bit, but I don't know, man. I don't know if this is gonna be as stressful. Okay, let me ask this: do you feel personally? Do you feel it occupies your life like the elections and debate and all that? Besides Biden, because my man was memeing out of his world, like he shouldn't have been it.
Honestly, you should have let it ride with all the memeing because that gets you more likes, more clicks, and people are like, oh, that guy, I'm voting for him because it's funny. We have a lot of trolls out here. They're gonna vote for the guy who has dementia. Sorry, I'll let you finish your question. What were you saying?
No, no. Do you think that because we talk about mental health and stuff, do you think that this cycle, at least as it is now, is going to cause a lot of people stress with with just the whole thing of now it's gonna be Biden, not Biden, Trump versus Harris, my namesake. Now my she has my name.
Well, now I know you're biased, so let's start with that.
Look, man, I can have a Harris on my.
President Harris on like the back of your jersey. Uh, no, so I don't think that this election cycle is any more stressful, any more or less stressful than the last two were. And I think
Yeah.
it's mostly because obviously Trump running for office. Like there is like this idea that if the Democrats beat Trump this time, there won't be another try. But I also think that this just opens up room for his son to run for president next, and it's just going to be more years of Trump trying to get into the office. Like it's not gonna stop. Um, that being said, for me personally, how I feel about this election cycle, have you seen? There's a skit that Dave Chappelle did where he's like hosting a game show, and it was like asking the question. It was like, how can Black people rise up and overcome? And the first person was just like, we need to stop stabbing each other. And he was like, that's the correct answer. Somebody was like, pay reparations. It's like, that is also the correct answer. And if someone was just like, get out there and vote, I'm sorry, that was not one of the answers. And that's honestly how I feel sometimes when it comes to elections in general. It's like, unless there's somebody who's speaking to something that I currently care about, and everyone can say like the intangible things like, oh, well, if you do that, like you're going to be a second class citizen as a black person if you go for this candidate. Or the other one's like, hey, you're going to be in a super woke world that you're not going to be able to relate to anymore on the other side. Or, now everyone's going to be openly racist and it's going to be okay. And this side, like, there's so many different viewpoints to the point where I'm like, listen, only topic I care about is who is going to make childcare affordable.
Right.
If you come out when you have a plan for that, you'll get my vote. If you have like, I don't care about that, you probably shouldn't have had kids, not voting for you. I am a one issue person now. It used to, like, you can call me the N word all you want. As long as my child is taken care of, that's all I care about. And then I'm kind of piggybacking off what you said about dating. Like, do you feel like you need to date someone with similar political views as you? And if that's the case, if you don't, what would be the time where you're like, all right, this is too much?
All right, so I would say I consider myself, if I had to say, like, put a label on it, I was like moderate to leaning liberal, right? Like, I'm not so much. I don't care about like I get my money from when I do my investments and stuff. Great, cool, whatever. Like, making money to me is more like a means to end versus like how my people around me treat it. Like, day to day people. Like, that's how I look at it. And because even far anything to me, turn off. Like, I can't get behind just being like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go from one side and don't listen to everything. I'm a realist, bro. Like, I'm just like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Yes, this is kind of annoying too. Like, and I want to be, I don't want to be. Why can't I just be a person? I feel like with now when it comes to, like, if you say I'm a conservative, I'm a liberal, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, you're automatically judged. Like, they
Mm-hmm.
already place a label on you, and nothing else about you matters. Like, would I date somebody with different political leaning? It just depends. Like, it depends, because if you say conservative, okay, what type of conservative are you? Do you
MAGA.
MAGA? I probably did date a MAGA.
So what you're saying is you have no soul. You just
I was just like, I was more like, what the fuck is this on? I just felt highly uncomfortable, but I don't know. I can't, because that's a far left, and that's the same thing. If you were like woke, right? Like, on that end of the spectrum, I'm like, look, bro, like, life's not that. Both sides, life's not that serious, fam. Why you gotta be angry all the time? Like, enjoy life. If you just see people as people, kind of like what we did back in the day. I talked to Jamie about this too. What happened to, like, not talking about religion, not talking about politics? What happened to that? Because when you don't bring that up in spaces where you don't feel like, look, if I go to church, I know I'm gonna talk about Jesus, right? But if I
you're gonna be next to the atheist, just like die for your sins. No, he died because he wasn't real. Like, whoa,
exactly,
whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh,
hold
wrong
up,
crowd. Wrong crowd.
wrong crowd. But yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like for me, I could date someone that's a different political than me. It just depends. But when you see on online dating, you have to make a snap judgment of, like, I mean, I've done it, and this is horrible. If I see people's profession, right? I'm like,
You profession shame.
I do. But it's like cause you get through it, and
So what
this
are,
is the
what
thing.
are the professions that you're like, absolutely not?
Oh,
Just give me the top three that you see and you're just like, I don't care what you look like. I just can't be with a grocery store bagger. Like,
Uh,
what is it?
a sales associate at oh god, at like
Oh, at a contracting firm.
no, not at a contractor firm. Let's use this one. Store manager at a Chick-fil-A. Sales store manager at Best Buy. Um, bartender, no, not bartender. Bartender maybe. Bartender maybe. I don't know, man. It's just like because you grow up thinking these like because it's more like like the working person jobs, right? Like the
Service.
fast food service workers. Like I don't know, bro. It's hard. It's I do that. Babysitter. Like
Babysitter's making bank right now. Listen, if you were dating somebody who was a babysitter, I'd be like, yo, give me her number. Listen, it's not to talk to her. Like, that's your person. I just need a sitter at an affordable cost that is good with kids. That's probably bilingual. If you're bilingual, I mean, you can pick the second language as long as the first one's English. That's all I care.
But yeah, bro, that's another thing. Like, cause and maybe we'll do another episode of online dating, just talking about the prejudice of online dating. Cause you're just going through it and you gotta realize these are people, and you just snap judgment. It's snap judgments, bro. But when I see like like if we talking about politics, when I see conservatives, I'm like, okay. And then it's like, I love my God, country, and Jesus, and I'm like, I know the type of conservative you are. Like,
If I see a
you're
live, laugh,
firecracker.
love, red flag. Live, laugh, love. Mm-mm. What are we doing? Also, if you start a conversation with my pronouns are, I don't care anymore. I do not care anymore. Thanks for clarifying that this will be a waste of my fucking time. You have a great day. On the same part, if it's just like, hey, I just want you to know that the earth is flat, I'm like, thank you. There's a meme, or I guess a TikTok video I saw where a kid was like a teacher witnessed something happen in school, and one of the kids was like, "Hey, the Earth is flat," and the other kid said, "My mom told me I can't talk to people like you." Walked away, and that's about to be me. I'd be like, "Ugh, what's that, brother?"
As I
Ugh.
was saying, the far ends, bro. They just come back in the center. Just let's come back here where we all just like we can make mistakes, we can fuck up, and everyone's like, you know what? Bring back the '90s. That's all I say. Bring back the early 2000s, '90s, and we can be twerking in the club again. So, what do y'all think? What do y'all think?
I do.
Uh,
I do want to close on a comment that, and this might be my ignorance, but I truly believe this to be true. That for the most part, we're all very closer to the middle than we think. I think the media, social media, and like news media want to pit us against each other, but I think most of us are kind of closer to that moderate. I feel like everyone's forced to be moderate because of what we believe the far left and the far right want. Just stick to who you are, be who you want to be, and you're normal. Everything you're feeling is real. You're normal, and don't believe all the hype. Just talk to your peers. Don't be afraid to talk to your peers about politics. Which, not when I talked to somebody who I knew was outwardly Republican, I was just like, "Oh, so you really believe this?" They're like, "No, no, that's fucking stupid." I was like, "Oh, maybe am I the problem?" Like, yeah, didn't you say your pronouns were he him? And I'm like, nah. Why are we doing that? Exactly. I was just like, all right, cool. So yeah, I think a lot more of your friends are in the middle than you believe. Not to say that if you believe pronouns are important, if you believe that you know everybody in school should have guns, like that's all your belief. I'm just saying outwardly that I don't necessarily support everybody those
either.
things.
Right, exactly.
But and that should
And
be
that
okay.
should be okay too,
Let's have a
right?
discussion about it. Let's just have a discussion. That's all I want. I don't want people to just polarize and be like, "You're lesser than me because you believe the opposite." Like, let's just come in the middle, come to the table, talk about it, and agree to disagree. Like, why can't we do that anymore? Everyone's all want to race bait and hate and everything in the world. Let's be calm. Let's be nice to your peers. Treat others like you want to be treated.
And I blame smartphones. But yeah, treat others how you like to be treated. I like that. I like that. So, what do you guys think? I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Like I said, we did do a little something different because we really wanted to catch this big thing that happened. But let us know. Let us know your comments. Let us know your concerns. If you're on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. And on other platforms, where can they let us know their thoughts, comments, problems, hate? Where can they send it at?
Yes, so like you said, on YouTube, you can find us at Unsolicited Counseling. On Facebook, you can find us at Unsolicited Counseling Podcast. Instagram, also Unsolicited Counseling. And if you have an email for us, shoot us an email at youadvicepodcast@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to check out the Patreon because we are on Patreon. We have some cool content out there. If you want something a little bit more raw, you're going to see how we really feel. You want me to go in depth about Donald Trump and how I really feel? Just click on the Patreon link and join us, and let's hear what's going on.
Awesome, guys. And as always, we love you guys. We're here for you guys. One drink at a time. Ooh, one episode at a time. Be easy, y'all.
Laters.